What's up, bitches? Holy smokes. Fail intro. My bad. My bad. It'll be okay. What's up, my bitches?
You're not very lined up. You're like way.
I'm trying.
What happened to
I
you?
don't know.
Get over here. Do I
Well,
smell?
I can't
Do I
because
smell bad? Is that it?
I can't because I gotta write 2
What you writing?
questions.
Huh.
Aren't I supposed to?
Yeah, unless you just want to say, heck with it, and just ask them.
No, because people don't like that.
They don't like the banter. I think you can ask questions. We just can't banter about everything else.
Oh, well.
It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want.
Well, we should try to make people
We do
happy,
try.
But what's new?
I got nothing new. So what?
I'm a little disappointed in our listeners. Nobody has emailed us about my last episode pop quiz question.
Maybe nobody watched it or knows what it is.
Maybe. But there is a thing called Google.
Shh.
Oh, I don't know what Google is. What's Google?
Google what? What are we Googling?
Exactly.
So welcome back to Miners Mayhem, a true crime podcast where miners become murderers. That's hard to say. Murderers. I'm Eden.
I'm Brianna.
And yeah, here we are. It's been a hot minute. It feels like anyway. Has it been a while?
No, it's been a while. Yeah.
It's nice to be in the pod lab.
It is. Yeah.
A little stuffy in here.
Yeah, it's a little
humid.
A little humid.
Do you have questions for me?
What do you have for True Crime News?
Very good.
I said, what do you got?
In True Crime News, a North Carolina woman gouged 2 kids' eyes and tried to suffocate one with a pillow. Their ages were 10 and 12. Both children also had cuts on their bodies. The woman's relationship to the children was not specified. For more information on this case and others, you can check out truecrimenews.com.
Why do you gotta start off like that?
Because you asked me to.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow, that's all I can say, really.
I really wanted to know what those children were to her, but I couldn't find it. Unless maybe it wasn't released yet because they're minors. If it was her children, it would have said her children. So I believe they're not her kids.
I hope it's not like a babysitter.
I don't know.
Imagine.
I don't have a clue. But I actually looked at this, I think it was last week when I started working on this case.
Yeah.
So it's a week old, so maybe there's more info by now. Ah, really?
Maybe.
Fly.
So
I don't know.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
What do you have? What are we doing for case today?
I'm glad you asked.
We're doing, after I yawn,
we are doing the Clear Lake murders.
Clear Lake murders. Mm-hmm. Is this in Ohio?
Nope.
Down south?
Mm-hmm.
Texas?
Yep.
Huh. Okay.
So, for this episode, we're going to Cedar Lake. Oh.
I was calling it Clearwater. Now you're calling it Cedar Lake.
Should we just start over?
No.
Nice burp. I'm so proud of you. You're such a lady. I raised it.
As I'm putting a chew in.
As you're putting a chew in, I raised one heck of a lady.
I am my dad's daughter.
Yeah. So we're going to Clear Lake City, Texas. We're going to dial it back to the year 2003.
2003.
Yep. Happenings in 2003 included President George W. Bush announcing the start of the Iraq War.
Mm.
The Space Shuttle Columbia disintegrated over Texas during its final approach to landing, killing all 7 of the crew members.
Oh.
Yeah. And Ample. Oh boy. And Apple launched its iTunes music store.
2003?
Yep.
Really? I feel old.
Fashion in 2003. Now, see if you can remember this. It included leather jackets, chunky shoes, shiny pants. Do you recall any of this?
Oh, yeah.
Low rise flared jeans,
Mm-hmm.
vest tops with rhinestones,
Mm-hmm.
and baseball caps.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
Why do I not remember shiny pants?
Really?
No.
Oh, my.
Did,
Oh, yeah. That was a
did you
huge
have
thing.
some? Were they jeans? Shiny jeans or what?
No, I think they're talking about like the faux leather, shiny looking
Pleather?
pants. Yeah,
Okay, interesting.
I think.
Oh,
Shoot,
now you gotta
now I better Google it.
Google the Google that you don't know.
Yeah, that I don't know what that means. 2003, shiny pants.
Yeah,
Shiny.
I picture jeans
Yeah.
with like a real big shine to them in the
How?
material. I don't know, but I remember that.
Oh yeah, like the leggings,
Oh,
like the.
yeah, like that. I picture something like that.
Oh, okay.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
Oh heavens, yes, no, I do not recall. I didn't buy you any, did I?
No.
Thank God. I don't care for that.
How old was I? 10?
Uh, yeah, you would have been 10.
93 to 03. It's 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was 10.
And I did not buy you any of this.
No, that was still in my cowgirl era, farm girl era.
Baseball caps, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear a cat meowing.
I do too.
Poor
Yep.
Smokey. She's always wandering around.
So Christine Marie Paolilla was born on Long Island, New York, March 31st, 1986.
Oh, that's my husband's birthday. What day?
March 31st, 1986. To Charles and Lori Paolilla. That fly is going to irritate me. Lori was a stay-at-home mom to Christine and her older brother. Why? And Charles was a construction worker. When Christine was 2 years old,
Oh, what is it? I don't know.
oh heavens,
It's a bug.
is it the bitey kind? Because it didn't bite me.
I don't know, but your mic is in your armpit. There.
Is that better?
Yeah.
We're off to a rough start.
We're off to a very rough start. We're a little rusty.
A little rusty.
Yeah.
I like the yeah. Okay, when Christine was 2 years old, her dad was killed in a construction accident. He was working on a high rise in New York, and apparently he was struck by falling bricks.
What's a high rise?
Like New York, like a skyscraper high rise, a tall building.
Okay.
But in various different sources, but I couldn't confirm, so I want you to take this with a grain of salt. Some sources were claiming that that drug use may have contributed to this accident.
Oh.
I don't know if it's on his part or the person that dropped the bricks or what. I don't know for sure what happened. I couldn't find any details.
Okay.
So there's that. Just a short couple of months later, Christine's grandpa and great grandmother passed away, leaving Christine confused and asking, why people she loved kept going away.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Because she's how old in 2003? She's what?
This didn't happen in 2003.
Oh.
This would be 86. It'd be about 88 because she was 2 years old.
2.
Yep. So yeah, she was really confused. I would imagine that built a fear in her, or
yeah,
people walk out the door and they don't come back.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. So, on an interview with Lori that I read, she stated that Christine was the apple of her daddy's eyes.
Eh.
Yeah. In the midst of all these tragedies, Lori began losing herself to drug addiction. She tragically, I mean, could you imagine getting up one morning and kissing your husband goodbye and then police showing up at your door, come identify your husband or whatever, you know? I don't know how that went down, but could you imagine?
No.
She fell into drug addiction pretty hard.
What kind of drugs?
I I don't I'm thinking heroin or maybe cocaine. It was
Oh,
the harder drugs.
yeah. Wow.
Um, by the age of 5, Christine, who was already plagued with no, did I skip something? No. By by the age of 5, Christine, who was already plagued with terrible vision requiring thick bottle glasses, you know what I'm talking about? Because when you look at the bottom of a Coke bottle, it gives you like this fisheye look.
Really?
They're that thick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Her vision was horrid. Would you ever seen Dad with his glasses on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Picture that, only probably way worse.
Hmm.
Um, she started waking up in the morning to large clumps of her hair covering her pillow. At the young age of 5, Christine developed alopecia to the extent that she lost her eyebrows, eyelashes, and required wigs. Now, I've heard it said that alopecia can be brought on by stress, and I've heard it said that it's an autoimmune disease. I don't know if those two feed off each other.
I think it.
Because she literally had what they
Oh.
call alopecia totalis, zero body hair,
Yeah.
even as she got older. So I don't really understand, like, maybe it's a hidden autoimmune disease, and then when you get under stress, maybe it flares its ugly head.
Maybe.
Kind of like, doesn't rheumatoid arthritis kind of do the same? That's autoimmune, I believe. And doesn't it go through spurts, and
I think so.
sometimes you do really good and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you don't do so good?
Mm-hmm.
That is, I am not a medical doctor and I don't claim to be. That is just kind of my take on it.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, the quality of wig, a real good quality wig is hella expensive, right?
Yeah.
Well, they couldn't, I mean, Lori was a single mom now,
And jeez.
and she was fighting her own demons, her drug demons. There was no money for a quality, which is upwards of thousands. There's no way that she could afford a quality wig, for her child. And so her wigs were very subpar. Now, you combine and when I think of subpar, the first thing that jumped into my mind was like Party City. You know how you get wigs for,
Yeah, for costumes.
yeah,
Yep.
yep. That's the first thing that jumped to my mind. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. It's just like when I read some descriptions, this fly, ooh,
I know.
when I read some descriptions, that's what popped into my head was Party City,
Yeah.
where you can buy anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if you combine the subpar wigs, the lack of eyebrows, and the lack of eyelashes, and the Coke bottle glasses, Christine became quite the little target for the a-holes in school, as one could only imagine.
Kids are assholes.
Kids are assholes.
Yeah.
They are mean to the core, or they can be, not all of them.
Not all
I
of
don't
them,
mean to
but-
throw all kids in the general basket, but
No, but you know who you are.
yeah, there's some pretty crappy littles out there.
Yeah.
She
And
endured teasing.
parents do better.
Yes, parents do better. She endured teasing, kids pulling off her wig in the hallways, and some serious name calling. And Gary's barking. So, yeah,
That boils my blood.
it does.
I do not tolerate bullying
Nope.
at all.
Me neither. Not. There's absolutely no reason to tease somebody because they're different. It's bullshit.
Or just for the fun of it, even.
Well, it makes you wonder what's happening to them at home that they have to do that.
Yeah.
Are they picking on the smaller kid because somebody maybe in their household is picking on them?
Maybe.
I'm not going to sit here in an armchair
No.
psychoanalysis. I'm not going to do that, but that's just the kind of things that pop into my head.
You're right.
Um, Lori, being in the throes of her drug addiction and fighting a battle that she was having a hell of a time beating, she lost custody of Christine. So at the age of 6, Christine and her older brother were sent to live with their grandparents. When Christine would talk to her mom on the phone, she would keep asking why she couldn't come home. She didn't understand and just wanted to go home.
Oh.
Well, so now you add that dad was ripped away, grandpa was ripped away, great grandmother was ripped away, and now mom.
Mm-hmm.
At 6 years old, this child is so confused, I'm sure. Like beyond, pretty shitty. Eventually, Lori went through rehab and was able to successfully beat her drug addiction and pull her life together, and she even remarried.
Oh.
So at the age of 15, Christine was reunited with her now clean and sober mom, new stepdad, and started a new life in Clear Lake City,
At
Texas.
16.
15.
15.
No, took that long. Could you, I can't pretend to know that I understand. Drug addiction is a bitch all on its own, and then when you're fighting the tragic loss of somebody that you loved and wanted to spend the rest of your life with, rock bottom probably
Right,
came up and smacked her.
I don't think that's kind of what I'm getting at. I think what bothers me, did she get married before or after she got rejoined with her daughter?
That's a good question, and I think before. I think she was working on it. That doesn't happen overnight.
No.
Yeah, she got married before. I'm pretty sure. But if it's wrong, I'll fix it later.
But isn't there a certain age where the kid can choose who they want to be with?
I would assume so because the boy chose to stay with the grandparents. I don't know how that went down, if it was through court proceedings. I didn't find a lot of information on that particular. I just know that, yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. So life continued to be a struggle for Christine. On top of her thick glasses and unrealistic wigs, she was struggling in school and was diagnosed with attention deficit disorder. So the hits just keep on coming. And on top of that, she really wanted to just fit in with everybody. So she was trying to do her makeup and draw on her eyebrows. And I guess when she would sweat, it would run. And she just struggled. She didn't have the quality or the know-how to do that stuff.
Right.
So
if I was her friend back then, I want to help. I would have taught her. So I love makeup. Like, don't get me wrong. I would have helped her. What? Am I gonna want to retract that later? Yes. No.
and then
Did I say something weird?
No, you're perfectly justified. I'm just not giving you an answer.
Okay.
Sorry, Uncle Brad.
I didn't say it.
I heard it. And then you just did it again.
No, I didn't. I said
fart? Like the sign you thought read fart today?
Yeah.
That was funny. Okay. All Christine really wanted was to be liked and accepted by her peers, and her wish would come true the day that she met the 2 most popular girls in school, Rachel Colarutis and Tiffany Rowell. They swept in and took Christine under their wings. The girls transformed Christine. They helped her style her wigs. They helped her properly apply makeup, and this young lady's whole life changed. Her whole life.
So
changed.
these two girls were being genuine?
They were very genuine.
Okay. See?
Very
That's what I would've
genuine.
done.
Well, right. But we're not done.
Right. In this moment, that's what I would do.
Yes, you would have been genuine about truly helping somebody. Yes,
Yeah.
there was no evil behind this at all. They were
Okay.
just so.
Because usually popular girls aren't like that.
And I will touch on that here shortly.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Sorry. Don't yell at me.
Well, you're right. Popular girls can be conceited and they can be considered the mean girls.
Correct. Mm-hmm. They even made a movie on it.
I know it. She was so happy she finally felt accepted, and the three girls became inseparable. It didn't stop at just helping her with her appearance. They literally became inseparable. Christine could always count on Rachel and Tiffany to have her back. They became so close that Christine was even comfortable enough to take her wig off in front of these two girls, and she didn't do that. That's something she didn't do. She didn't. She was not. She didn't want anybody to see her without her wig.
Mm-hmm.
But Rachel and Tiffany, she felt close enough and trusted them enough that she could, and she did.
I love that.
Uh-huh. So
women supporting women.
Yep. So that that speaks volumes of the bond that they had formed.
Yep.
Although Tiffany and Rachel were considered the elite popular girls, they did not let this go to their heads.
Mm-hmm.
They were nice to everyone. It didn't matter if you were a jock, a nerd, a goth, or whatever other clique that you were in. It didn't matter.
They were just nice.
They were just genuinely nice, good people.
I love that.
I do too. Now, Tiffany and Rachel were a year ahead of Christine in high school, so they would graduate a year before Christine. Tiffany aspired to go into social work, and Rachel was leaning towards a career in law enforcement. With Tiffany and Rachel's help and friendship, Christine was even voted Miss Irresistible by her classmates in 2003. And when I put up the before and after pictures, you are going to shat yourself. I mean, we're talking the just in the cocoon and out came a butterfly. Mm-hmm. Just metamorphosis or whatever you call that. Just transformed totally. Rachel cared so much about Christine that she even carried a photo of Christine in her pocketbook.
Aww.
Mm-hmm. Lori, Christine's mom, really noticed a remarkable change in Christine's attitude towards going to school and her overall mood after meeting and becoming close to Rachel and Tiffany. When Tiffany and Rachel graduated, things would change though. Rachel moved in with Tiffany and they both became waitresses at a strip club called Exotica. Now, these two girls are beautiful, okay? And they were begged to take the stage and strip. They were only there for the tips. They had no desire to take their clothes off. They did not want to strip. They were there waitressing, the drinks, getting the big tips. So when I say they were at a strip club in Exotica, nobody should think them girls make good money. They make more money in tips than yeah. This isn't this should not put a shadow on who these girls were.
No.
They were doing an honest, keep your clothes on, honest, hardworking, on your feet living. So, some people, they hear the strip club and Exotica and all that, they go straight to
trash.
Pond scum. Yeah. No, it's not. It's a stigma. It needs to go away. I know women that have put themselves through college stripping.
Yeah.
If you go up on stage and you strip, you do you, boo. Stick your money in your pocket, pay cash for your college.
Yeah.
Stand next to the guy that's all of a sudden a doctor and knee deep in debt. It's honest living. Yeah, you do you, boo. Would I ever do it? Absolutely not. I don't carry that kind of confidence in me. And besides that, I'm in my 50s, so
I remember,
not going to happen.
I remember my grandma. I think I was like 7, 8. She looked over at me. She's like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?"
You didn't.
I said it. I think we were flying to California. and I was like, I want to be a stripper.
You said that on the airplane?
And everybody turned around and looked at me. Grant's face just turned bright red. She's like, how do you even know what that is?
You were only
She's
5.
like, she's like, do you know what that means? And I was like, yeah, I want to be a stripper. And everybody was just laughing and laughing. And I was like, well, whatever.
You were 5. How did you know what a stripper was?
I don't know. It sounded good.
Oh dear God! You know that story sounds familiar.
Yeah,
I wonder if Mom didn't tell me that story
probably.
when you got back, because she told me a couple other things that you'd let slip too.
I don't remember them, but
Oh, I do.
I remember that one.
I'll tell you that one after, because I am not saying the next one out loud.
Oh, oh,
Oh, it was bad,
oh God.
and I just was plumb shocked. But anyway, we're
Well, it was.
it was a speed bump. It pertained to this.
It
So,
pertained.
if you don't like it,
Settle down.
lump it. Okay. Right. Yeah. So I said they stripping at Exotica,
Mm-hmm.
and they were busy adulting and making plans for the futures. The girls, they just didn't get to spend as much time together as before. Because I do believe at this time that Christine maybe took a job at Walgreens at the makeup market or the makeup counter, maybe.
Hmm.
So, anyway, left on her own, Christine would not make the best decisions, starting with her choice of boyfriends. Let's enter into the fold Mr. Christopher Snyder. I'll call him Chris. Kind of a shady character, according to, I don't know in real life. We'll never know. But according to what I read, he was pretty shady. Chris was 21 years old to Christine 17, and this was met with disapproval by Lori and her husband. Chris was a drug abuser and was no stranger to the law. He did have a criminal rap sheet. Tiffany and Rachel also thought Christine was selling herself short and could do so much better than Chris. Despite everyone's disapproval, Christine stood by her man. And this relationship was toxic, to say the very, very least. Christine was really jealous and insecure, and the two of them were constantly fighting. Just constant. Chris was said to allegedly be controlling and abusive. When Chris would refuse to talk to Christine, she would spend the night trying to get in his house, threaten to kill his family, and would sleep on their front lawn.
Christine?
Yep. Christine, did I say Chris? My bad.
Let's
And I read on
your
one site, actually a couple of them, but during one of their many, many, many fights, Christine just walked up to Chris, started at his chin, and licked his face from chin to forehead, and then just turned around and walked away. I'm assuming it probably shut the guy up. I might have to try that move on Dad. Yeah. I would imagine you'd be in so much shock that somebody literally licked your face that you're just kind of standing there dumbfounded.
Yeah,
I would think maybe that was.
I would think so too.
I can't get behind the idea of what she was doing, but that's the only thing that I can think of is I bet he just shut right up, jaw on the floor.
Yeah, huh?
So these two obviously mixed pretty much like oil and water.
Yeah,
it's just
kind
not
of what
good.
It sounds like.
So I better have a drink here. We're gonna get into some pretty shitty shit. So by this time, Christine had already suffered major tragedies in her life. And unfortunately, she was about to suffer more. And her life would just begin that downward spiral. On July 18th, 2003, a friend of Tiffany's called Tiffany's cell phone, and Marcus, which was Tiffany's boyfriend, answered the phone and said that Tiffany was in the bathroom. So Tiffany just decided, okay, I'll call back later. Well, she called back a few times and didn't get an answer. And she was in the general vicinity. She was in her car, and her boyfriend was in her car, along with a couple more people. I think a cousin, and they were not far from Tiffany's house. They decided to just drive on over there, and right away they noticed that both Tiffany and Marcus's cars were in the driveway. So why weren't they answering the phone? They must be home, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there was no answer when she knocked on the door, and at one point she had knocked so hard that the door just kind of did the. It must not have been latched, and it did the old open Rooney. So she yelled in, and anybody home? How we do.
Yeah.
And the house was really quiet, and that's very odd to her. So she entered the living room, and
Was
she.
this Christine or Rachel
What?
that knocked?
Oh, neither one of them. It was a different. It was one of Tiffany's friends.
Oh, one
I
of
believe
Tiffany's
it was one of
friends.
her coworkers from Exotica, but
Oh, okay.
don't quote me on that. Um, like I said, the house was really quiet. She entered the living room, and she was confronted with sheer horror.
Oh, yeah.
She hauled ass out of that house, yelling for someone to call 911. Her boyfriend, confused in the moment, took off running towards her and ran into the house. And it wasn't 2 seconds later, he turned around and came running out screaming the same as she did.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. A nearby neighbor happened to be talking on the cell phone outside, and he was the one that ended up calling 911. Police arrived to the site of a massacre. 4 people appeared to have been just gunned down. Gunned down. There was blood everywhere. All 4 people had been shot multiple times. These victims would be Rachel, Tiffany, and her boyfriend Marcus, and his cousin Adelbert. A 21-year-old and 3 teenagers murdered in the middle of the afternoon. All victims were shot multiple times, with 2 victims having been beaten badly about the head.
Which two got beat in the head?
I'll tell you. Evidence appeared to show about 40 shots fired. These shots hit their intended mark with just surprising accuracy.
Okay.
I believe one police officer said that they had done the tactical drills or whatever with trained gun people, and they didn't have the accuracy that was at this scene. So, a person could, a person may or may not get something from that. I don't know. Adalbert Sanchez had multiple gunshot wounds, one in the middle of his forehead, another in the middle of his neck, one to his left arm, 2 to his torso, and another to his left shoulder. He was sitting on the couch, appearing as though he could have been sleeping. The 21-year-old Adelbert appeared. Adelbert, I bet, not Adelbert. Adelbert. Jeez. The 21-year-old Adelbert appeared as if he didn't have time to react and was taken quite by surprise. Marcus Purcella, which was Tiffany's boyfriend, had been shot in the head, the stomach, the right forearm, the right shoulder, and also had been beaten about the head. Tiffany was on the couch with a foot resting on a chair in front of her as if she had been lounging watching television. She had been shot right in the middle of the forehead, the chin, the left cheek, left shoulder, left abdomen, left of her vagina, right leg, right knee, and right shin.
Wow.
Okay. Rachel received the worst. She'd been shot in the lower abdomen, 5 shots into her right thigh, 3 to her left shin, 1 to her right foot, 1 to her left butt cheek, and a direct shot to her vagina. Rachel had also suffered a severe beating about her head. She had bruising that would be consistent with a fall to the floor, and bruising to her hands and forearms consistent with someone putting their arms up for protection. Defensive.
Mm.
Tiffany's house was known to be a party house, and her boyfriend Marcus was known to deal marijuana and ecstasy. And apparently, Adelbert had family ties to the Mexican mafia, which later was ruled out, but of course, they had to check into it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unfortunately, this case would go cold for 3 years.
Really?
3 freaking years. There was nothing.
With all of that?
They couldn't tie it to nothing. All they knew is that a 9mm semi-automatic and a 38 was used. That was the only evidence there.
Mm.
At some point during those 3 years, a neighbor did come forth with information of seeing a Caucasian male and female dressed in black. The lady wearing a black bandana on her head, who appeared to be in their late teens, walking down the street towards Tiffany's the day of the murder. The neighbor recalled that the girl appeared to have very large eyes. And a composite sketch of the male and female was made. To be continued.
Stop it. No way. Our first two-parter.
We're having our first two-parter.
What the?
I did that on purpose.
What the F?
I'm sorry. So if you guys don't so those of you who don't want to talk about what has happened so far and then get off on a side road and tree off to several million branches, exit stage left or right, don't care. See you next time. Those of you that like us bantering around, stick around. So what you got for me?
What the F?
Besides what the F?
We don't have many questions. Oh, who did you say was going into the police academy? Was that Christine?
Rachel.
Oh, Rachel.
Rachel was interested in law enforcement, and Tiffany was interested in becoming a social worker. Tiffany lost her mom to cancer. Okay. She'd never smoked a cigarette a day in her life, and she developed lung cancer. Ooh. So Tiffany helped care for her mom, and
as well as hospice nurse and social worker and all of that.
Yep. So she developed just a
love for it.
A love for, I want to go into social work.
I like that.
Yeah. And I do believe that Rachel was, she was going to pursue possibly like military to get her foot in the door as far as law enforcement. Mm. But I think she was struggling choosing what branch to do that, to choose to go. So interesting. So do you think it's a Mexican? No, that was ruled out. I'm gonna say so.
No, the big googly eyes is what
got you.
Is getting me. Uh-huh. So I can almost assume that it's her and her boyfriend, Christine and Christopher. Mm-hmm. But I want to know the motive.
You may never know.
Really?
Maybe not. I'm your mother. You can't flip me off. Oh, thanks. Double time.
Double. Husband's home. I really hope it's not her, though. But I have a feeling it is her.
Well, on the next episode, we will start going through the 3 years that the case was cold. We'll kind of follow Christine a little bit during that 3 years that the case was cold and kind of see where that leads us. Okay. See how she deals, see what happens to her, see her reactions. We'll jump down that rabbit hole and then go from there. Okay. Might be a 3-parter.
3 parts?
I doubt it. I think I can get it in 2. I probably could have got it in 1 if I Nah, two-parter's kind of fun.
I kind of like it, but I don't like it because we gotta wait a week.
But you have to study for a huge test.
I do.
So it was kind of convenient that we do it a two-parter because there's no way you're going to be able to study for your test and do all your research.
Because
so
literally, if I don't pass, I can't go back to work. So I have to pass this test in order to go to work in August.
no pressure. What's the first day of school?
I don't even know.
You haven't got your school supply list?
No. Have you? Are they out?
I'm sure they're on
Line?
the page. But
Well, I think I would have gotten an email, but maybe not. I don't know. I guess I could put it as page.
That's I know. My husband.
Remember when I was in school, we'd go to like Walmart or Office Max or Staples, and they had like everybody's schools
right there. Yep.
list.
I wonder if they still do that.
I don't think so because everything's on that crap.
We don't even have to.
Technology.
We don't have to. Actually, we don't even have to do anything if we don't want to. We can pay somebody to do it for us. We did that last year.
What you mean? Oh, like
The
pickup?
BHG or somebody does it. They get everything together for you. They charge you so much, and then you just go pick it up when it's there. We did it last year just because I procrastinated too long. And I'm assuming we may do it this year because when am I going to go school shopping?
True. On a Sunday, I suppose. Kind of.
No.
In the mornings.
Could you imagine running all the way to Minot and doing school shopping and then driving all the way back here and recording and then me driving another hour home? That's a lot of road time. And I drive every day of the week already.
I can't believe my little one's going to be in kindergarten.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not prepared for that.
What am I going to do? Well, I'll be at work with him, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so you'll get to work 5 days. 4. Are you on 4 days or 5?
I'll be 5. We just have to leave early on therapy days.
Had switched to that schedule. White Shield had switched to the 4-day-a-week schedule.
No.
I wish we would. 4 days a week would be amazing. And I think somebody had figured it out, like, by the time you...
Did they start sooner and go later?
Yeah, and then only 15 minutes extra a day. And they've got... And it's not that much.
And they still meet all the credentials?
Yep.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
Huh.
I think kids need an extra day off. I really do. Especially when they get homework. The older they get, the more homework they get, the more they have to do at home. I think homework should be banned. Here's the deal. Your littles go to school, they leave at what time?
8.
And the bell rings at what, 8:20?
8:25.
And they don't get dismissed. Ours don't get dismissed until 3:26.
Ours is 3:12, but they don't get home until about 3:30.
Okay. So they've been in school this whole freaking time.
Yeah.
The last thing they want to do is eat supper, open the books, get their homework done, take a shower,
go to bed.
And go to bed.
Yeah.
No, they need time to be children.
Yeah.
I do not agree with homework. I think it needs to be done in school.
I loved Ezra's teacher last year. Because it was optional. You didn't have to do it, but she would encourage it. So we did it anyway, just because it was math.
Yeah.
And me and her don't like math, but it's very hard. But if I tell her, like, let's just do it right when you get home, that way it's done and over with. We don't have to worry about anything else.
See, that's the last thing my little wants to do when he comes home.
Oh yeah,
he wants to have a snack.
She doesn't want to do it.
He wants to, if it's nice, go outside and play with his friends, ride bike, go to the skate park.
I'm not gonna lie, there's been times where I'll do it for her and just like have her write down what I did and explain it to her as I went.
Mm-hmm.
So she's
She's
still
learning, but she's
learning
not,
it, but
right.
she's not like figuring it out on her own.
Mm-hmm.
There's only been a couple times I've done that though, where she's just so overwhelmed that I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll do it for you, but you're gonna sit here and watch me, and I'm gonna walk you through it, and you can just write it.
Yep. And I found
That might not be everybody's cup of tea, but if my kid gets overwhelmed, obviously I'm gonna.
Well, they're either going to shut down and not do anything, or they're going to do it completely wrong.
Yeah.
I've had Eli just
And then
shut down and sit there.
Yeah.
And do nothing. Just sit there. Like his brain was just whacked. But I did find a way. Now they had to do so much reading every week. It was up to them to do it. And I did find that if I let him use my Kindle and I get the kids' Kindle books, and then I sit down with him right next to him and he reads out loud to me, before we knew it, we had read for over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But I was asking him questions and I was engaging. And when the timer went off, we were only supposed to read 15 minutes and we went over an hour. Like when the timer went off, he's like, should we finish this chapter? Yeah, I want to see what happens. It was really cool and it worked really well.
Yeah.
Now, if I just would send him with a book and say, go read.
No.
I'm pretty sure we're turning pages and not reading a damn word.
No. Definitely not.
He's a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I engaged him. How did we get off on school?
Because I got a test to take.
Oh, yeah, right. That's why we're doing a two-parter.
Mm-hmm. And I hear it's very hard.
Oh, boy. Have you been studying?
I studied some, but I want to kind of refresh, and then at least there's like practice tests online.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gonna like take one every day and hope I just pass.
That's your little sister. She can take her permit test anytime, and we've been telling her practice. There's online tests that she can practice.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I have to look into this, but she can do her test right online.
Yeah. At home.
With the camera on the... Yeah.
That's what ours did.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Yeah. I don't think you can take it more than once in the same day.
No, I think it's every 24 hours.
Every 24. So she could just sit at home and... What is it, $10 every time she takes it?
Something like
10 or 15 maybe?
Yeah.
But nobody can be around her from what, right? No. Everybody has to be away. She has to be solitaire, no other computer to pull up.
Correct.
Because they watch on the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta take their phone away and everything.
Cool. Anything else?
Nope, I think that's it for me.
Okay. So, if you did enjoy our episode, leave us a rate and review. It helps other like-minded crime lovers find us. If you'd like to contact us, those of you that know us personally, you know our numbers. Otherwise, you can use our email at minersofmayhem@gmail.com or via Facebook Messenger. Just type in Miners of Mayhem in your search bar and our Facebook page pop up, and just hit that follow button because I said so. If you prefer if you prefer to watch our episodes on video, you can do so on our YouTube channel. Just type in Miners of Mayhem. We should pop up.
Correcto
mundo. In the meantime, please refrain from being pond scum. Life is way too short. And keep your happy asses safe out there.
It is free to be kind.
And it is free to be kind. Be kind. Bye, guys.
Bye.